Hello, welcome to our annual monthly board meeting.
Annual monthly?
Annual monthly.
How'd you manage that?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to say, so it just comes out. Oh, Ryan couldn't be here. He had to go to the airport to get his kids off. So Julie and I are taking her to his place today. And we're going to give you an update on what happened at the board meeting today for our, what month are we in? June? June board meeting. So it was a long one. We had a lot of things to discuss and a really large agenda, but we made it through by about 12:30ish time frame. So now we're going to give you a little update of what we talked about. First of all, we got some money from Keller Williams offices, did a fundraiser for the GRAR Crisis Fund, and they raised $2,870.70.
Woo!
And what was the event? It was a March Madness tournament, basketball tournament. So
very cool.
One of the things they said to us is they challenged all the other brokers to do something similar and to raise that much or more over the next year. So that would be great for the Crisis Fund.
You'll probably, for any of you that are watching this Facebook Live, you might have seen that we did a Facebook Live earlier when they presented the check. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome. And then right after that, we have Dave Allen from the new Innova Lab, which was the Kent County Land Bank. I'm never going to be able to say that right.
I know, it is a little confusing, but it is a play on innovation, and then lab is capital L, capital B for a play on land bank. So they're still the land bank, they just filed a new DBA to call themselves Innova Lab.
So it was very interesting to hear what they had to say. We just really wanted to stay informed on what they're doing. And so that's what he gave us, a short presentation on that. And we're hoping to get some information out to the members too on what they're doing. So we'll see what we can come up with for you guys.
But we'll produce a summary of what that presentation entailed, because it may seem a little bit confusing. They're going to be introducing modular homes to this market, and we need to kind of bring you up to speed on what's happening there. So that official announcement will come from the Land Bank or Innova Lab later this month, but we had just a little preview today, so we'll give you some information on that as well.
One of the committee reports came in for the groundwater contamination task force, and one of the things that came out of there is we have a lunch and learn coming from is he a professor at GVSU?
Rick Radesky, who's with GVSU. He actually gave a presentation to that task force. You were there.
I just happened to sit in that day.
Yeah,
because I was here, and boy, was I glad I did, because he gave us a good summary of what's going on in a very simple format and didn't make it scary. So
yeah, that was cool, because he had a lot of material to back up what he was providing. It was done in a way that we understood it, and he didn't have that sense of panic. So it was really, really well done. So we're going to bring him back for all of you to hear, because it's well worth it.
Yep, and then we're going to have some links and resources about what's going on with that whole issue, and it's going to be on the private side of the GRAR website for you to access. So if you decide you're going to sell a property in there, and you don't usually do that, but you need information, you can go down to the GRAR website. I don't know what section that'll be under, but it'll be there for everyone to access. So
yep, good info, including a link where you can go to find what water filters are available, where you can obtain them, what different levels of water filtration systems do. So it's good info.
All right, what else did we do? We talked about every month. There's always a suggestion that we change a rule or something that goes on. And so we talk about a lot of those suggestions, and sometimes we approve little tweaks to them, and sometimes we say, no, we should leave things the way they are because they're working. And if sometimes we understand things at the boardroom table from the past that says, maybe we shouldn't change that because we've tried that in the past. And Julie's got a lot of experience from the past, as far as she's been here a little bit of time.
A while. And we don't want to give the impression that we're not changing it because it's always the way we've done it. No. Because we certainly invite and welcome new ways of doing things. These are just various policies concerning MLS issues and whether or not they should be broadened or changed. And We deal with a lot of those things, but
And we
not
do
always.
try to keep things as simple as possible.
Yep.
That's one of my things in life is I like things to be simple. I don't want it to be complicated, so I don't like to add new rules just to add new rules. They have to accomplish something, and we don't change rules just for the market. Because there's different markets that we're going to go through, and sometimes we don't like to change things just for a certain period of time. So,
Right. So can I talk about the dues issue just
Sure.
briefly? So we've heard many of you loud and clear. We tried for the last 2 billing periods to use the NAR dues website for paying NAR and state dues, and then the local website for paying GRAR dues. And if you were one that experienced difficulty with the NAR dues website, you were not alone. Not only did many of you have a problem with that website, but so did we internally from a NAR staff or from a GRAR staff perspective, I should say. So we are completely reevaluating that. We're going to take that billing back in-house. We're looking at the total dues billing process, and you'll probably see some changes forthcoming there. And with any luck, it will be processed for the better, and that will be somewhat more permanent. So we're not changing things in another 2 years. So watch for that.
hopefully.
Yes.
The candidate review committee put together a list of names of potential new board members for next year, but anybody who has 2 years committee experience can apply if you want to be on the board of directors as a salesperson or a DR or a broker. There's 3 different elections. Now's the time to apply. So if you're interested in doing that, please apply. Was there a link online?
There's a
There was
link.
an email. It was in the weekly mailing.
It was in the weekly mailing, but it's also, if you go to the private side of the GRAR website and go to your account, you'll find a link there where you can enter a voluntary director resume. So if it's something you'd like to consider, we'd love to have you consider it and enter your information. It does pre-populate any of your local service here in GRAR, so you won't have to try to remember where you served or what you served on if it's been in the past.
So when is the deadline for that? It's
July 17, I believe.
Okay. All right. And one of the other committees that met was the Government Affairs Committee, and boy, did they work hard.
They
2 days
did.
worth of meetings, or a day and a half.
Yep, 20 motions from that group, doing interviews. Every 15 minutes, they were conducting interviews for the better part of 2 days. And they came out with recommendations, and those we will also publish to you. And of course, they're asked questions about their positions on issues that relate to real estate and your ability to do business. We don't get into social issues. So this is one area where you can consider their endorsement as one piece of information you use when you go into the voting booth to know that they favor, let's say, the position of our Realtor party and private property rights.
Awesome. So thank you for that group. That's a lot of time they put in.
That was a ton.
So thank you for the Government Affairs Committee for the work they've done. Let's see. Facebook. Our Facebook page, our private Facebook page is always very busy. Always remember to keep it positive. But we want you to know as members that the GRAR board does follow what's being said on there. And we want it to be positive, but we also want it to be informative to be able to help each other out. Always remember that if you have a question about what you should do in a transaction, you should always ask your broker first. But if there's something that we can do to help, if there's good conversation on there, we are watching that as a board to make sure that we know what you guys are talking about. So.
And on behalf of President Ogle, he would want us to say we have seen yet another 1 or 2 examples of agents when they're conducting showings, pulling up carpeting, tearing things off, and it's just not okay. It's not okay. This is not HGTV where people are going in and tearing up things to see what's underneath the carpeting and what does it have flooring or what kind of flooring does it have. So that this is not okay. And we're contemplating actually moving this to grievance to do a formal investigation, because by process of elimination, using the lockbox, we can probably kind of figure out who may have shown it and who might be the likely culprit. So keep that in mind.
And just remember, you are a guest in their home.
Exactly.
If it's a vacant home, If it's an occupied home, you are a guest in their home. You do not own that home, and you are a guest no matter what. So treat it that way.
Exactly.
And just treat it the way you would want someone to come into your home.
Yep.
And I would think that if we all had that thought pattern, it would probably change a few things.
Probably would.
All right, what else?
One thing I want to make sure I mention, we have a lot of members who are active on committees. In fact, I was just kind of, as I was doing my monthly written report that I do for the directors, I realized that we have 23 active committees and task forces right now. All of those staffed with a whole bunch of members who are doing great things for us. And then, of course, the directors at this table receive reports from those committees and task forces every month. So if you ever wonder what's happening here at GRAR, we've got a lot of activity. Normally things kind of slow down when we get into the summer months, but we are full speed ahead. So.
And I would say from the board's point of view, the staff is doing a wonderful job, but they are busy right now. So you think about 23 committees, that's also 23 staff people that have to have meetings on a regular basis. So staff is doing a lot right now, so thank you to the staff and their hard work.
Not actually 23 staff people, but 23 times a staff person has to be
at
in
a
these
meeting is what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
I get it.
so yeah.
We don't have quite
We don't have
many.
that much staff, but sometimes we could probably use it, but we
Yep.
can't. Julie runs a very conservative budget, so she does a fantastic job of using the members' money very wisely. So.
We try to be good stewards of those dues dollars, and I have a good team here, so.
And being on the finance committee as many times as I have in the last few years, I've seen that, so it's very well run. So, anything else that's going on?
I think that's all I have.
Watch for the events coming up, watch for places to learn, lunch and learns, anything you can do to make yourself a better agent and to be more educated, you need to do that and take every advantage you can. So,
Thank you.
all right, thanks.
See you next month.